Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to a very special presentation. This is what we call the copy-paste growth system. We're going to be walking through a niche within a niche today that you can make 1K per month per client. By the way, that's not just 1K per month, but 1K per month per client with this niche by setting them up with something that is proven, something that is a system, something that you don't have to add a lot of things. You don't take anything away. This is a system. It's self-contained and it works. It's proven. And I'm going to show you exactly how to knock it out of the park with this. So all you have to do with this call, watch this call, just copy what we're doing. A lot of times, like I said, there's variation in things we do. You can apply it to different places. I'm going to be giving you the niche. I'm going to be giving you the system. I'm going to be giving you the foot in the door. I'm going to be giving you every piece of the puzzle. Just copy what we're doing here. Now, before we get into this today, I want to bring on my business partner, my good buddy, to say a couple of words. The super smart, the super fun to be around, and one of my favorite people, Mr. Zach Anderson. Zach, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, and I'm doing great.
Good. So I'm excited today. I know you're excited today because we get to talk about something that is one of our favorite industries, one of our favorite ways to serve in the digital marketing space. But today we're going to get really, really specific. I think a lot of times people leave things out or they don't get hyper specific with this stuff. So when people get off of one of these calls, they sort of go into this mode of like they've got a map, but they still have to guess at some things. That's not really what today is, right? Like we're going to be really specific today.
As specific as you possibly can be. Yes, this is. And we always talk about getting the niches and the riches. Riches are in the niches, and so many people struggle with choosing a niche because it's hard. You don't get the full picture. There's always something missing. I think that's the one thing that me and you are really trying to help out with, just the whole system from A to Z and how it all functions and how it all works together.
Yeah, and this is one of the most highly requested things that we've had people ask us to talk about, and so we're going to be doing it today. All right, so let's dive in, buddy. Let's get started. Let's talk about what we're doing, why it's so profitable, and really why right now doing it this way has been so successful for us. So let's get into this. Today is going to be enlightening, you guys. I want you guys to understand, because we're being so specific, there's going to be things that maybe you were unsure of with some of the things that you've been picking up and learning and trying. Today is going to be very, very specific. I don't want you to think that today is the same thing that we've covered in the past. Today is really the state of the art of what we're doing. And I want you to understand, a lot of times, a lot of folks are aiming to just sort of hit that 5 to 10K mark. Give me a number one on the box if like you've been trying to kind of hit that 5 to 10K mark. And a lot of the trainings that we do are focused around getting newer agencies to that 5 to 10K mark. Today is not really that. Now you'll be getting to the 10K mark, but that's not really what we're aiming at. If you're ready today, even if you're brand new, if you've been doing this a long time, if you've an experienced agency owner, whatever it is, I want you to understand today is more of how you're going to be playing in the bigger leagues, okay? Today, we're going to be showing everybody the system that you can start to be building towards a 25 to 50K a month in your digital agency. This is going to be the roadmap, okay? And if that scares you because it's a lot more money than you've ever made with your agency, don't worry about it. If it scares you because you think that it's going to add a lot of complication to your agency, don't worry about that either. That's not where we're at. We have wanted to do this presentation for a while, but we did not do this presentation until we had everything very much down to a science. And so that's what today is. If you're ready to get to that 25 to 50K a month and you want the roadmap, this is what it is. If you're tired of dealing with businesses that won't give you the time of day or don't take you seriously, give you a number 2 in the box if that's something you have dealt with. A big number 2 in the box if that's something you've dealt with. If you're tired of dealing with businesses that don't take you seriously, or they won't even take a meeting with you, they won't talk to you, this call is going to show you why that happens and how to move on and leave that part of your life behind you. Leave that part of your business behind you. And this is because what I'm going to show you is going to explain why that happens, but more importantly, how you can get out of that forever. Today, we're going to be specific. Today, we're going to be very, very specific. We're going to show you the exact businesses to target. We're going to show you how to get their attention, and we're going to show you the exact service that is going to get them results. And I want you to put an exclamation mark on this last slide right here. It's about getting another business results. Give me a yes if you agree with that. It's not about how much money you make. If you understand how to get the businesses that you're serving results, the money that you make takes care of itself. Would you agree? Give me a number one if you agree, or yes if you agree. Just put that in the box for me so that I know that you're with me on this. If you want to be in a position where you can bring the heat, you can make it rain for people, you want to be a rainmaker. And the idea behind this is what we're going to show you today. That's what we're doing. We're showing you how to actually help businesses get to where they want to be. And that's powerful because that means the income part for you is easy. Now, on top of that, you're going to learn how to automate and outsource the work. Meaning, once you get this thing going and you understand the system that I'm going to put in front of you today that Zach and I have worked so hard on, then you don't have to do the hard work with this forever. You can operate this as a CEO. Here's the thing, with the systems, you're going to be able to operate this business efficiently, maximize profit. This call is not, once again, for people looking to just make 10K per month. This is for people that are aiming at 25 to 50K a month and then go on to 100K per month. Even if you're in a spot where you don't think that's possible for you right now because of some story you've made up in your head, when you follow what we're doing today, this is a possibility. Now, a warning, well, again, this model cannot be applied to any niche. One more time, give me a number one in the box if you understand this. This cannot be applied to any niche. So when you guys, there's going to be somebody that's going to, hey, can I do this over here? Can I do this in this niche? No, that's not what we're doing today. This is very, very specific. It's about specific and a repeatable model. Most importantly, Matt V says, I'm listening. Pretty bold claims, my guy. I get it, buddy. I get it. All I'm going to do, Matt, is don't buy into any hype. If you feel hype coming from my voice, don't buy into any of that. Just listen to what I have to say and judge it for yourself. I'm not somebody that believes in gurudom. I'm not somebody that believes that you should put anybody up on a pedestal because they've done things that you haven't done yet. All I'm saying is let me explain some things. If it makes sense to you, this is the potential that you have. I love that statement that you made, though. Most importantly, you guys, I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. Getting paid good money every month to deliver 10x ROI for your clients. Meaning, I don't mean you're going to 10x what they're currently making. Does everybody understand that? This is it's super important. I don't mean 10xing what they're currently making. That anybody that says that, that's usually complete bullshit. Okay? I don't mean 10xing what they're currently making in their business. I mean 10xing what they pay you. That's an easy return for you to get for them. Give me a big number one if you understand that. I want to make sure that people don't take this claim here as something flashy, as something more than what it is. I want you guys to understand what we're delivering is not pie in the sky. What we're delivering is just 10x what they're paying us. So if they pay us $1,000 a month, they can make $10,000 a month with what we're going to set them up, additional on top of what they're already making. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that you can build a pretty damn good business by charging someone $1,000 a month and delivering $10,000 a month in return on top of that? Would businesses fall all over themselves to do that with you? Yeah, that's the idea. And listen, we're not promising the world. We're just promising that they're going to get a good return on their investment. Everybody give me a number one if you understand this and you're ready to dig in. We're just promising them a good return on their investment when they work with you. Not pie in the sky, not, hey, here's the best result we ever had, and so that's what we promise everybody. No, it's just that they're going to get a good return. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. There's 4 parts to this that we're going to cover in the next little bit. I'm going to be moving very fast. Here's the 4 parts. Part 1, the ready to be disrupted niche that is hungry to take full advantage of the internet for its primary customer base, and why only a small portion of them are currently doing this. Now, this niche within a niche, you're saying, okay, well, I think I know what it is was based on some of the hints. Okay, stick with me though. Stick with me though, because when I get into this, you're going to understand why focusing on this tiny little group changes everything, even if you think you know what the niche is already. Part 2, how to get this group's attention. So we pick out the niche within a niche. How do we get their attention? How do we get the foot in the door? It's so easy. It's so easy, but this is something that most people actually miss. And so it's a 15-minute task on your side. It's a 5 to 15-minute task on your side. And this is going to get their attention, and it's going to give you the ability to present what you have for them, which is what we're going to be covering in part 3. What do we actually have for them? There's a unique marketing package that this niche is paying us $1,000 a month for. And I'm going to show you how to set it up in under a day and what we're actually delivering and why they're taking advantage of us when they sign up for this. Finally, part 4, how you can automate the entire service and make 25 to 50K a month only serving this special market of business owners. Do me one more favor. If you're ready to go and you're ready for the intro to this thing to be over, give me a big number 1 in the box so I know I got to do the intro. I got to set the stage. I don't like leading people into this blind. I want to make sure you guys know what we're doing, but I always like when we get past the intro so that we can actually get into the good stuff. Okay, good. We got lots of number 1s. We got lots of let's rocks. We got lots of, okay, Ben, let's go. Let's go, buddy. I'm busy. I'm busy too, but I want to make sure that you understand we're taking time out of our day as well to not be at our agency to do this. Okay, so let's get into it. Part 1, the ready to be disrupted niche that's hungry to take full advantage of the internet for its primary customer base, okay? For its primary customer base. Here's the deal. If you haven't guessed already from the little logo on every slide so far, we're talking about working with restaurants, but I want you to understand we're not talking about working with every restaurant. Does everybody understand? Do you guys understand that the vast majority of restaurants that you guys might go after that are out there would be a complete waste of your time? Let's call it like it is. Let's call it like it is. Do you guys understand the vast majority, the large percentage of restaurants out there that you guys would possibly go after would be a waste of time, would be a total waste of time? And I need everybody to understand that. Here's something else I need you guys to understand. It's different than it used to be. The secret to making a fortune with restaurants right now is knowing which kinds of restaurants to avoid. Okay, and like I think that that's something that a lot of people really don't understand. They really don't understand that. You got to understand which ones to avoid and which ones are an absolute gold mine. Now, something to note, the kinds of restaurants we go after and work with now are completely different than the ones we went after 2 to 4 years ago. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that the kinds that we go after now are completely different than the ones we went after 2 to 4 years ago? Because the world was completely different 2 to 4 years ago, wasn't it? Would you all agree with me on that? With everything that was going on and everything we were pulling out of, would you agree that the world was completely different? Yeah, and so if you are trying to do the things that you were doing 2 to 4 years ago, or maybe you got burnt out on going after this niche, yeah, I can understand why. I can understand why. Here's the deal, and let's get into like the brass tacks of this. Those of us that make money helping restaurants grow right now understand that there are 3 core categories of restaurants right now, and it may not be the kind of what you're thinking here. So I really want to break this down for you. There are 3 core kinds or core categories of restaurants right now, and I want you to understand what they are. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's go through it. Here we go. The 3 core categories of restaurants right now. Number one is what we call the top dogs. Category number 1 is the top dogs. This is like 3 to 5% of the industry. Okay, 3 to 5% of the industry. And I want to really lay this out for you. They have great food, they have great service, they have great atmosphere, they have a decent location. I say decent, it doesn't have to be a great location. If they've got the great food, great service, great atmosphere, the location, people will travel. A top-notch website, active socials, and hundreds, if not thousands, of good reviews, and are actively adding 25 to 30 reviews a week. Does everybody like the specificity here of what I'm telling you of who these people are and why they are at the top? I need you to understand what they are doing here, because so many times we'll say, oh, this restaurant's killing, it's doing good, but then we won't define what makes that restaurant. It's great food, great service, great atmosphere, decent location, but also a top-notch website, active socials, hundreds if not thousands of reviews, and they're actively adding weekly. Here's the thing about these top dogs, this category number 1. Past customers are actively talking good about them behind their back, and their online channels magnify that. Please pay attention to that last sentence. Give me a number 1 if you're locked in with that last sentence and you understand what I'm talking about with this top dog category. 3 to 5% of the industry, it's the small number. This is the smallest group, okay? Category number 2 is probably the category, if you've ever tried this niche before and you were unsuccessful, this is probably the category that you are intimately locked in with. And I'm sorry. Category number 2 is what we call the slowly dying. The slowly dying. This is estimated to be about 65 to 70% of the industry. Here's the thing. They probably do one of the in-store things well, which is food service or atmosphere. Just one, right? How many of you have a place in your head right now? The second I said slowly dying and they do one of those things well, how many of you right now are thinking of a spot And you're like, yep. Now, how many of you are thinking of somebody, a past, like almost client that you tried to bring on? Give me a number one if you've got that in your head. Like somebody you tried to bring it on, and you're like, oh crap, it was one of those. Yeah, we've all been there. Don't be ashamed. So here's the deal. They're typically only good at one of those in-store things, food service or atmosphere, just one, not all three, not two, but one. They typically have a rarely updated Facebook page, no other socials, and a website that hasn't been updated in years. Past customers for this group are actively talking bad about them behind their back. Give me a yes if this one makes sense to you and you understand where we are with this. This is probably the category that most of us are familiar with because this is the category that most restaurants and bars fall into. Okay, now category number three. Category number three. This is the rising stars. This is about 20 to 25% of the industry. These are the folks that do the in-store, all of the in-store things. They're doing well. They're doing well with food. They're doing well with service. They're doing well with atmosphere. They have a decent location. They just don't have any of the marketing systems in place yet to capitalize on those things so that they grow at a pace that's slower than it should be. So here's the thing. I got a decent website. They typically have weak socials, and they really have no mechanism to encourage reviews or repurpose views to get the word out. So the idea is they got a lot going on good inside, but they don't have anything outside to magnify that all these good things are happening. Does everybody understand the difference between a category 1 and a category 3? Like, do you understand category 1, the top dogs, have the in-store stuff? Yeah. And from there, they've got all the out stuff too. Category 3 is pretty similar to category 1, except for they don't have the marketing systems down to let people know to get the word out. And so that's the idea. That's the idea. Category 1, exactly, Roger. They have critical mass. They have critical mass. Does everybody understand what Roger just said in the chat? Category 1, because they've gotten all their marketing systems and their in-store systems in place, have critical mass. Category 3 is not at critical mass yet, but has the potential to get there if they just get their marketing systems there. They have momentum, exactly. Now let me illuminate this further. We see dine restaurants all the time. All of us have seen dine restaurants, but what I'd like to show you is an example of what you see online when you see a top dog. Would you guys like to see an example of a top dog out there right now that is crushing it? Like somebody that is in that 3 to 5% that has the in-store systems done and they have the out marketing stuff done as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you one that you could actually go look up right now. And some of you have these, but here's one. This is a place called the Hampton Social. It was established back in 2015. It's turned itself into a bit of a chain. At this point, there's multiple locations, but this particular one that I'm highlighting is Nashville, Tennessee. Now I want you to look at their website. It looks good. The colors are good. The aesthetics good. They have a pop-up that's giving something away. Let me ask you something. A lot of people are in this thing and they're like, why don't you have restaurants argue with you when you want to give away things for free? How many of you have ever said that to me before in the chat or privately on Facebook? Don't you have restaurants argue with you when you want to give away things for free? You guys, this is a restaurant that absolutely crushes, and they're giving $50 off if you spend $300 or more. Why would a restaurant that's absolutely crushing it do that? Anybody have a guess? Why would a restaurant that is absolutely crushing it give away things? Because it's part of the machine that continues to help them crush it. Give me a big number one if you understand you don't have to explain crap to somebody who is a top dog because they get it. They get it. Who do you think you've got to explain the giveaway stuff and you have to argue with them for putting up a pop-up that's going to give out? Which category of restaurants do you think will fight you on this? It's number 2. It's the slowly dying. Okay. Now here, they got great socials. They're posting often. They've got great Facebook. They've got great Instagram. And I want you to look at these reviews. I want you guys to understand this particular location that you're seeing right now with the reviews, they've been open since December 4th of 2019. Everybody got that? December 4th 2019, and they have 7,000 reviews. How many of you think that's pretty impressive? December 4th of 2019, and they have 7,000 reviews. Now, if you're doing the math at home, that's going to average out at like 20 to 30 reviews a week. How do you think that happens? Do you think that that's just accidentally people are leaving them more reviews versus other places? Like nobody, like when you look at the competitors in here, you guys, nobody's touching them. Nobody's touching them. And I want you to understand, when did they start doing this? When did they start doing this? It was right before COVID. So this was not the easiest time to be putting. Why do you think that they have this? Because they have a machine in place. Now, I need to be exceptionally blunt here. If you're going after the slowly dying restaurants right now, you're in for max pain. How many of you have experienced some of this max pain before going after what you now know is a slowing dying category of restaurants? Yeah. Here's the thing. I want you guys to understand this. If you've ever gotten, let me take a pause. How many of you have ever gotten down on yourself when you've been running an agency and you thought that something was wrong with you because you weren't making the headway you thought you should? Give me a number one in the box if you've ever gotten down on yourself and you thought maybe something's wrong with me because you're running into people that don't pay you attention, don't go. Here's the deal. If you're going after groups that are in the slowly dying, they're going to make you feel like the insanely valuable things you can offer as a digital agency have no value because they're a mess and they don't see the value in any systems. Does everybody understand this? The people that are in this slowly dying category, they're in the slowly dying category because they don't have systems internally and they don't have external marketing systems. Does everybody understand this? Please give me a lucky number 7 if you got this. It's when places die, yes, there are places that die because of weird, crazy, accidental circumstances, but the vast majority of people in this space that die or are on their way to dying, it's literally because they don't see value in systems. And if they don't see value in systems in their own business, do you think they're going to see value in the marketing systems that you want to put in front of them? Yes or no? Do you think that they're going to see the value? If they can't even put systems in place to run their business, are they going to see value? So let me ask you guys something. How many of you have ever gotten down on yourself before when the reason they didn't see value in what you're doing is because they're the complete wrong audience? They never see value in anything that's systemized. So I want you guys to understand, if you go after this group of people, you're in for max pain. But you should also know this. If you're going after the top dog category of restaurants, that 3 to 5%, you're going to have to be in for a battle. What I mean by this is if you go after the top dog restaurants, they get the value behind what you're doing. They will take a meeting with you. They will take a meeting with you. But I want you guys to understand, because they're top dogs, because they are where they are, they're probably already locked in with certain systems. That's what got them there. They'll take a meeting, but if you want to get them as clients, you have to be really patient. You have to be really persistent. You have to stick. You have to follow up. Give me a yes if you understand this. To get a top dog, you have to stick. You have to follow up. You have to be persistent. And a lot of folks get frustrated because that persistence is hard. That persistence is hard, especially when you're trying to build your own business. So if this is the group that you're just going after, it can be really, really tough. Now, here's the deal. Between the slowly dying and the top dogs, we find our niche within a niche. And by the way, if you don't quite know how to identify this group yet, just stick around. There's such an easy way to identify these people quickly and online. The slowly dying and the top dogs probably aren't where most of us want to spend our time. The rising stars, that's our sweet spot. That's our sweet spot. And I want to talk to you about why that's our sweet spot. I got a couple reasons here why focusing on the rising stars category, this niche within the restaurant niche, is who we need to go after. Reason number 1, they have a quality product for sale. They have great food. They have great service. They have great atmosphere. They have a decent location. They have all the things that the top dogs have in terms of internal systems that make the food, the service, the atmosphere good. Give me a number 1 if you got that for reason number 1. Their operational systems are on point. If their operational systems were not on point, then they would not be a place that has great food, great service, and great atmosphere. Okay, so that's it. From there, reason number two, these rising star businesses, the ones that are like 20-25% of the industry, they already have an understanding of the value of digital marketing. They just don't have solid systems. So if you like look these people up, you're going to see that they've got a Facebook, they've got an Instagram, it just doesn't get updated as often as it needs to. They're getting reviews, but they're just not getting reviews at the same velocity that the big ones are. They have a website, but it's not as on point as the others. So they see the value. They see the value. It's just not as systematized as the ones that are top dogs. Reason number three, here's the thing, and please, please, please pay attention to this. This is key. The rising stars are going to be successful even without you. Give me a number one if you're okay with that and you understand what I just said and why it's important. They're going to be successful eventually without you, okay? But I want you to understand they are going to grow 3 to 5 times slower than what the top dogs did because they don't have good marketing systems in place, meaning they got great things on the inside, but nobody knows about it. Or it's really slow for the uptake in their market to get it because they don't have things to advertise. This is what we're doing right. And so they're going to be successful eventually. They just want to get there 3 to 5 times faster than they would alone. That's it. That's all we're after. From there, reason number four, these people, they're successful. They have money to spend to grow, and they're open-minded, meaning they will take a meeting with us because they have their heart in the right place. They just haven't put it all together yet. Reason number five, they're very aware of the top dogs in their market, and they want to catch them as quickly as possible. Give me a number 5 in the box. If all this makes sense to you, you understand this is like, these are the people that are looking for us. These are the people that are looking for us. And when you understand how to identify these people, your agency changes forever. Because these are the people that have been sitting there waiting. These are the people that I have told you for a long time. These are the ones that you want to connect with because they act like normal people. They don't act like the people that are dying, okay? Yes, somebody said it in the chat, rising stars are hungry. Now, those 5 reasons make them exactly the kind of businesses that I want to work with in my digital agency and the kind that you'd want to work with too because they're fun. They're fun. And by the way, I should say this. If you ever feel like you're faking it in this digital marketing world or you're falling short or you're behind where you should be, the odds are extremely high that it's because you've never worked with a rising star before. When you find your first rising star, when you find your first 5, your first 10 rising stars and you start working with them, you're going to feel like a genius. Give me a number 1 if you understand that. You're going to feel like a genius. There's so many of you that have so much good knowledge in your head and you have systems in your head, but you feel dumb, you feel like a failure because you have been going after people that don't get it. You have been trying to sell something to a group of people that will never buy it. And if they do buy it, they're going to be a pain in your ass because they don't get it. The idea here is when you find a rising star and you start working with them, they make you look good. And this is why. Because they do all the in-house things that backs up everything you're doing on the marketing side. How many of you feel like with your agency, you've never been in a team relationship before? This will change your life if you understand what I'm saying right now. How many of you feel in your agency with your client, you have never been in a true team relationship before? You guys, when you find a rising star type of business like this, a type of restaurant like this, it feels like you were smart. It feels like they are smart. It feels like 2 groups that know exactly what they're doing and they back each other up. And I want you to understand, they will make you look good because of what they're doing in-house. All you have to do is have the system to advertise all the good things that they're doing in-house to the world. And that's not hard if you understand what you're doing. So now that you have an idea who we're after, do you want to know how to get their attention? Meaning like, okay, cool, man, like you've explained who they are. We'll get into like how to contact them directly to understand who they are online with little signals and triggers. But would you guys like to know how to actually get their attention? It's the easiest thing in the world, by the way, because of kind of who they are and the psychology they have. But give me a number 1 in the box. Better yet, give me a number 2 in the box. If you'd like for me to go through the simple way that we get their attention. This is so stupid simple. but it works incredibly well because it creates a interesting little psychological trigger in the minds of these kinds of entrepreneurs. Okay, let's get into it. Part 2, how we get this group's attention and get our foot in the door by offering something they've never really seen before, and why doing this it's just a 15-minute task, and why it's going to get you a client. So I want you to look at these 2 competitors in Nashville, Tennessee. The first one is the Hampton Social, which I already showed you as sort of the top dog, right? Does everybody see the top dog, the reviews for the Hampton Social over there? It's 7,053 reviews. And they have a 4.8 cumulative rating. Give me a number 1 if you can see the Hampton Social there and this makes sense to you. Okay, cool. So that's that. Now I want you to understand there's this restaurant in Nashville called Boston Commons. It's a very similar restaurant. They both sort of have like a seafood vibe. They both serve lobster rolls. So if you were to go search lobster rolls in Nashville, this is another one that would come up. Both of these sell similar food. Both have great review scores. One of them has great all-around marketing systems and the other is still struggling to pull all the marketing stuff together. Here's what I want you to do. You don't do it now, but I want you guys to later do this. Go behind my back and go research the websites, the socials of the Hampton Social. Okay, you'll find some cool stuff. Go look at the website for Boston Commons. Go look at the socials for Boston Commons, and it's going to be very, very apparent real quickly why one has 7,000 reviews and a 4.8 score, and the other has 1,000 reviews and a 4.4 score. It's so plain as day when you know what you're looking for and you understand what you're about to understand. Don't do it now because I still have to teach you some stuff to look for here. But does everybody see that one of these, while very similar, has 7 times the reviews? 7 times the reviews. Here's the thing. Boston Commons that I just showed you has great things going for it inside the business. It's got everything in the business like lined up. The systems are good. It's a rising star. It just doesn't have the marketing systems that Hampton Social has to get the word out quickly. And I promise you that the owners and managers over at Boston Commons know it. They just don't know how to fix it because what are they good at? What are they good at over at Boston Commons, you guys? What are they good at over at Boston Commons to get that review score, to get 1,000 reviews? They're good at food. They're good at atmosphere. They're good at service. They're good at the stuff that happens inside the restaurant. They just haven't quite figured out how to let the world know in the same way that the Hampton Social has. Now listen, maybe you right now, sitting here right now, aren't even sure what the solution to make those two match up and to give Boston Commons, that restaurant, the same advantages on the marketing that the Hampton Social has. Now we talk about a lot of things that you can do for a business, but how do we use all of the digital marketing tools to kickstart a rising star like Boston Commons? I think sometimes there's so many things that you guys have in your inbox and that you're doing that you can get confused as to what's the easiest way to do it, what's the start, how do I put everything together? Give me number 1 if you have trouble sometimes figuring out how to put all the pieces together. Even if you've been doing this for a while, even if you do have clients, even if you've been successful, how many of you always feel like you're looking for a better way to put it all together and make it all make a little more sense? Yeah, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. It's the thing that separates what we do, the people that are crushing it versus the people that are still trying to kind of claw their way up, the rising stars from the top dogs. And so what I'm about to show you, I'd like to show you this. Would you like for me to show you the one thing that you need to be focused on for the next 5 to 10 years of your life as a digital agency owner that will make everything make sense? That will make everything make sense. What is the thing that if you just do this one thing and you focus on this one thing, all the other stuff that you're doing makes sense because it falls into place? Give me a yes if you'd like to know, hey, if I just keep my eyes on this prize, all the other skills that I have in digital marketing will make more sense. Ready? Ready? I'm going to tease a little lower. You ready for the answer? Give me number 1s. I want the chat to fill up with yeses or number 1s. If you want to know, Ben, this is what I should be focusing on. And if I focus on this, all the other stuff starts to fall into place. Okay, so let's get it. I need you guys to understand this. Over the last 10 years, I'm about to reveal the answer. Over the last 10 years, both in the online space and in the local business, brick and mortar business space, this has emerged. We have been trained that this is the most important thing. Sometimes we just forget about it when we get in our digital marketing hats. This is it, guys. It's reviews, period. It's reviews. Give me a number one if you agree with me that like this is the most important thing and everything else that we do should surround this. I'm going to tell you how this happened. When you guys, and I need you to answer this honestly. Let's say you see a product on Facebook that goes directly to a Shopify store. Let's say you're on TikTok and they're advertising a product and it goes directly to a Shopify store, or you can buy it directly from TikTok Shop. What do most of you do before you make that purchase from the Shopify store or the TikTok Shop? What do most of you do? I know you pretty well because you're like me. What do most of you do before you do reviews? People are saying check reviews. Where do you check reviews? Where do you go check reviews? This is interesting, right? Where do you go check reviews? Google, that's one. Okay, Google, perfect. What's the other? You'll maybe go back to the Facebook thread or you'll go to like the TikTok Shop and see the comments if you can do that in some places. But most of you go to Amazon or the Facebook page of that product. Would you agree with me on that? You go to Facebook. I'm talking about online products right now. We'll get into local in a minute. But most of you, before you make a purchase, you're going to check reviews on Google or Amazon. Most of you, when you see an advertisement for a restaurant and something, or you like maybe you're looking, what are you doing before you actually go to that restaurant? What are you doing before you actually go to the website? Almost every single one of you, when you're looking for food, or you're looking for a chiropractor, or you're looking for any of this other stuff, you're going to look online, either Yelp or Google reviews or Facebook reviews for what people are saying about them. Am I correct? Am I correct? Over the last 10 years, we have been trained to do this. We have been trained. It's not just us. The vast majority of us are going to a TripAdvisor. We're going to a Yelp. We're going to a Google reviews. We're going to Amazon. We're going to these places to check this. And because we've been trained, you guys, online reviews are the lifeblood of any restaurant in a decent market. If you're in any decent market, you guys, this is key. Now, we've talked a lot about reviews in the past. How many of you have heard Zach talk about reviews? Have heard Zach talk about a piece of software that he has that does reviews or has something adjacent to that? How many of you have heard me talk about that stuff? How many of you have heard us talk about this stuff? Now, that's the thing. We've talked a lot about reviews in the past, but maybe you don't know how to pull them together so that it impacts everything, and you pull them into a package that's not just one little thing, but it's everything, right? Here's the thing. We're going to talk about how to really systemize our review stuff in the next part of this and use them to make a ton of money in a minute. But first, I want to use some online reviews because these places have this. I want to show you how to use reviews to get clients and get their attention. Can I do that before I show you what the full system is that we're going to actually charge $1,000 a month for? Okay, so what I want to do in just a second, we're going to show you the full system of what we charge $1,000 a month for. But before we can even present that and charge somebody and get them to buy that, we got to get their attention. So here's what I want you to do. This is very simple. It's going to make you guys a whole lot of money. It's going to get you out of the place where people won't pay attention to you, and it's not going to take you much time to do this. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Does everybody see Boston Commons, their review stuff on your sheet right now? Give me a yes if you can see this on your screen, and you kind of get where I'm going with this. Okay, so Boston Commons, right? We got this on our screen. We understand they've got reviews. They just don't have as many reviews as the top dog. They're a rising star. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go click into this. We're going to click into their reviews, and we're going to grab 15 of these reviews that are 5 stars that our business has already collected. So we're only going to take the 15 that are 5-star reviews. Give me a number 3 in the box if you understand these two things and you're ready to move on to number 3 and see what we're doing next. We're going to the Google listing where the reviews are, and we're going to grab 15 of these reviews that are 5-star reviews. From there, we're going to take these reviews, we're going to turn these into social media posts. Simple. Anybody that needs any help with this, stick around later. I'll give you a way that you can do this in under 5 minutes, because some people are thinking, well, this seems like a very tedious process. No, it's not. I'll show you how to do this very, very quickly. We're going to turn those reviews into 15 social media posts. So far, so good. Give me a big old number 4 if you're ready for the next thing. Big number 4 if you're ready for the next thing. 15 reviews. By the way, if you do this the hard way, it could take you 20, 30 minutes to do this per business. If you do it the easy way, it takes you 5 minutes per business. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to rock this out. We're going to turn these 5-star reviews, 15 of them, into social media posts. And here's what we are going to rock. We're going to send them to the owners and managers of the businesses that we want to talk to for free with a special message attached. Let me ask you a question. What did I tell you a lot of these businesses are screwing up if they're rising stars? What's one of the core things that they're screwing up if they're rising stars? What do you think? One of the things that they're screwing up is social media post. They don't know what to post. They don't have time to post. They don't have things on their social media that make them look like they're alive, and they're alive every single day. When people go to a social media page, they want to see tons of activity. You are giving them something right here that is going to very quickly give them ammunition to post on their social, and they didn't have to build it. They just have to post it. You give it to them for free, okay? Does everybody understand this is a need and we're gifting it to them? What happens, just a hint, what happens when you gift people something that has value to them and it fills in a hole in a problem that they have? What happens when you gift somebody something? They don't know that it didn't take us a long time to do it. They are seeing this as something, they are doing this in their head of how long it would take them to do it. So the idea is, very simply, you guys, they start to feel like they owe us something a little bit. What do I want them to owe us? And this message plays into this a little bit that we said with it. What do I want them to owe us? I want them to owe us a little bit of their time. Just 5-10 minutes of their time. That's all I want. Do you think in exchange for a free gift like this, that's something they can use, that they'll feel like they owe us this? Yeah, because here's what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to actually use this. When you follow the way that I show you to do this, the message included, they're going to want to actually use this on social media, but they won't use it on their social media if they don't feel like, hey, we kind of owe them. So with this message, and I'll show you this message here later. I'll show you this message. I'll show you how we get those reviews, how we create them fast in a minute. But does everybody, are you starting with the number one in the box? Are you starting to understand how very simply I get their attention? How I get their attention? Yeah. Ryan says, when I receive something from a marketer that they took time to do, I wonder if the marketer has a limited time, no clients, the marketer's status is diminished in your eyes. Here's the deal I want you to understand. And Ryan, I really appreciate that comment. Ryan, I need you to understand something. You are not your client. Okay, Ryan, do you believe me when I say this? This is an important, guys, Ryan brought up a good point. Ryan, you got to understand, buddy, you are not your client. So Ryan, I need you sometimes to just understand this. And this was the hardest thing I ever did as a marketer, to understand that I did not have the same headspace as the person that I was going after for business. And that's all, buddy. That's the only thing I need you to understand is I get that in your head, that may be the case, but I want you to understand that you're not always in the same headspace as them. Here's the thing. When you send something out to somebody and you put effort into it, I have had people that I know do this to me, that I know did not have much of a clientele, did not have much of a business, but they did something kind for me in a world where most people don't go out of their way to do kindnesses for others. So I gave them a little bit of my time. Give me a number one if you understand that. I get it. I understand the mindset sometimes, but guys, when you're dealing in a place where you're already starting to come up and people do nice things for you, you acknowledge them. So here's the deal. I'll show you in a second what we're going to do and how we put these things together, what message we send. But for now, I just want you to understand that with the special message, we get their attention fast. It gives us the opportunity to show them how we can help them catch up and become a top dog and get out of rising star status by putting together a restaurant marketing machine in place. Does this make sense so far? I want to make sure, like I said, that we so far so good. Give me a number one in the box if this makes sense. I'm going to keep going if this makes sense and we're all on the same page so far. Give me a number one if this is something that you feel like some light bulbs are starting to go on, but we need to keep going. I want you to have a better picture of what all of this is. So we know who we're going after so far. We know what we're going to do to get their attention. Now, what are we actually going to put in front of them once we have their attention? How many of you want to know what we're going to put in front of them once we have their attention? Can I show you the unique marketing package and system that we set up for them that takes, hey, you got all your internal systems in place. That's why you got a restaurant that's a rising star and you're doing well. Let me build a system that matches the quality of what you've got going on in your business. Part 3, unique marketing approach. The unique marketing approach that this niche is paying us $1,000 a month for, and how we set everything up in under a day and why we're giving them such a good deal for this monster service. Now, listen, I know every single one of you here has dabbled in review marketing. Give me a yes if you have dabbled in review marketing. Some of you are professionals at review marketing, so congratulations. But I know every single person here has dabbled in review marketing. After I'm done with you in the next little bit, you are not going to be in a position where you are a dabbler anymore. You're going to know how to put it all together. Give me a big, big, big lucky number 7 if you don't want to be a dabbler anymore, meaning, oh, I got a piece of software that does this. I got something over here that does this. I understand that those are important. If you don't want to be a dabbler anymore, you want to know how all this fits together, give me a big yes. Okay. All right. So let's get out of being somebody that's just kind of adjacent to understanding how this works. Let's get into really, really doing it. So let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me. In a busy market like Nashville, Tennessee, what do you think are the financial implications every month between being a rising star, like you see with the Hampton Social, or I'm sorry, with Boston Commons, and being a top dog like the Hampton Social? What do you think are the financial implications? How much extra money do you think gets spent every week because of the differences of the two pictures here, which translates to what's going on Google? What do you think is the difference? And I want you guys to give me actual dollar amounts. How much extra money per week do you think gets spent in these places? We got lots of different things. We got people that are like way up there. We got people that are, I want you to be just super conservative here. I want you to be super conservative. Do you think that between these two, the difference in reviews, the difference in the marketing here, do you think that it's possible that per week it's 5K? I'm going really low here. Do you think it's possible that there's a 5K difference between the two because of what? Everybody here is saying more, right? Everybody here is saying more, right? I understand that, like, I am underselling this. Does everybody understand I'm not overselling this? I'm underselling this. It is at least $5,000. There is nobody in this chat, except for maybe one person, that was that low. But I want you guys to understand, does everybody understand that it's at least $5,000 a week? So it's at least $20,000 a month. That is the difference when you get the marketing systems right. The only other difference between these two really is the marketing systems. Does this make sense? So let's just say, and this is way smaller than what it actually is, but let's just say it's only $5,000 that is the difference between these two. So theoretically, I want you to go with me here. If you fixed Boston Commons and you gave them the marketing systems that went with the Hampton Social, can you guys fathom that it's $20,000 extra a month that Boston Commons is making if we can get them on pace marketing system wise from there? We charge them $1,000 a month. They make an extra $20,000 a month for what we're doing. That's much higher than the 10X I told you guys in the beginning. And that is the bare minimum that they're being. Does everybody agree? Give me a number one if you agree that an extra $5,000 a month sounds about, or extra $5,000 a week is low, but we can at least wrap our heads around that, right? Okay. I need you to understand why. Is it because more people are coming in to one or the other? That may be a little bit of it. But there's something deeper psychologically I need you guys to understand. Listen, not only do more people want to go to the top dog, and maybe they have more traffic because they have those differences going on, but they're more inclined to splurge when they go there too. Why is that? Why are they more inclined to splurge once they get there? Why do you think that is? Anybody have a guess as to why that is? Why are they more inclined to splurge once they get there? Here's what I need everybody to understand. When you look at the business that has 7,000 reviews and they have a 4.8 score, the restaurant marketing machine behind the Hampton Social, the rock star, the top dog, it puts patrons in a psychological state to want to experience to the fullest what everyone else around has gone out of their way to say is one of the best around. Do you agree with me? Give me a yes in the box if you agree with me. Meaning, hey, this one got a lot of reviews. Everybody says it's great. I'm going to maybe spend a little more money here. I'm going to get the dessert. I'm going to get some extra fancy drinks. I'm going to spend more money here because everybody said this is the thing. So if I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this and I'm going to go to this one here, yeah. Does this make sense? Here's the deal. not only do more people want to go there because they rank higher, the SEO's in place, the socials are on point, but you guys, they are psychologically conditioned when they find this place because it's just so much ahead of everything else, psychologically conditioned to want to spend more and to try more when we go there. And when you do it right, this machine that you put in place to do this, to give this sense to people, it runs itself. So would you like to see how the machine works? I'm running a little late on time, so I'll go fast with this, but would you like to see how the machine works? And let me walk you through it real quick. I need a ton of yeses in the box. Are you guys okay with me going a little bit over time so that I can explain this adequately? Give me a big yes if this is okay. This is key. This is key. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be fast, but I want to make sure that I give this the time that it needs. Here's the deal, you guys. Here's the marketing machine. I need you guys to understand. Even if you're not working with a restaurant currently, even if you're in a different niche, I want you to understand what we're doing here and how it works, because this is going to show you how to do it right. Okay, so here it is. People discover and try places based on the reviews and activity on these sites. You got Google, you got Yelp, you got Facebook, you've got Instagram. Okay, now Google and Yelp and things like TripAdvisor are going to be different than Facebook. Facebook has reviews, but it's more about what you're showing on the inside, showing the things that are happening there. It's Instagram, the same thing. It's showing a window inside. But would you agree that when somebody is deciding to go in somewhere, these are some of the top dogs that they go to before they actually decide they're going to go there? We're all sort of in the same place. But what happens, and I need you guys to do this, let's get into what actually happens. Do you think that before, like if the reviews are good on these places and the pictures and things are good on these places, do you think that they still go to the website? Yeah, you guys, they're still doing they're doing another check. All of us do this. We still go to the website, because why do we go to the website? Because the website gives us an idea of the quality of a place. Would you agree with that? This is so stupid, but people do it. Would you agree that even though we've seen reviews, we still go to the website because it gives us a psychological window to the quality of the place and to see their menu? Yes? Yes? Would you agree with me that the reviews are what gets you to go to the website? The pictures on Instagram are what gets you to go to the website. Okay, so what do you do on the website? Here's what you do on the website. This is all going to start connecting. On the website, you better have a self-updating wall of 5-star reviews. Because listen, you see reviews there. When they go to the website, we want to give them a wall of a positivity for this place. We want to beat it into their head. Would you agree that that is important, that we reiterate how freaking much people like us when they go to the page? That is a closing type move. So it's important we have this. Number 2 is to seal the deal. You do a pop-up and you give them a little deal with a follow-up tool. Is that going to help to seal the deal, to make sure that they go through? If it's between 2 things with similar reviews and I go to a place and one's giving me a little bit of a discount, which one do you think I'm going to? Which one do you think I'm going to? I'm going to the one that gives me a little bit extra, that gives me that little incentive to go in. So on a website, you must have a self-updating page of 5-star reviews, okay? You must have a pop-up with a little deal to follow up with their phone to let them know, hey, come see us, we're awesome, here's this cool thing to give it. Does everybody understand so far that those 2 things on a website are going to help us to close the deal to get them into the actual restaurant? Give me a big yes if you understand this so far and you're locking in with what I'm laying down here. Okay, so yeah, they go look at the reviews, they compare the reviews. After they find a couple places, they go to the website, they're going to check a couple websites. There's 2 things that we do on the websites that helps lock this in, meaning we're going to hit them with all the positive reviews and it's going to update itself. And then also on that same page, we're going to have a pop-up that gives them a little deal if they opt in. Those are the things that are actually close the deal and get them to walk through the door, get them to make reservations. They go into the restaurant. Now, once they get in the restaurant, there's some things that we need to do, and I want to explain this to you. Once they get on the restaurant, if you are doing things right, you have technology in the website that's typically going to be QR code or NFC-based cards that are going to push people to leave a review while they're still sitting in the restaurant. Give me a yes if you think this is vitally important. Vitally, vitally important. Vitally, vitally important. You guys, if you are accidentally getting reviews, you are going to maintain your rising star status. If you are seeing people that had a good experience in your restaurant and then you are asking them for a review before they leave, you are going to very quickly, within 3 to 6 months, be placing yourself in the top dog category. Does this make sense? Here's the other part of this. When we get those reviews, we are pushing the reviews back to the review page automatically. Does everybody understand that? We get reviews, the system automatically pushes the reviews back to the website, so this thing continues to grow. We don't have to constantly update it, it just works. We're also going through a process where we are transforming those reviews into reviews on Google. So it shows up there, it shows up, yep, it shows up on Facebook as content-based post. Does this make sense? Give me a yes if this makes sense to you and you understand. Once you set this machine up, the machine runs itself. The machine does it. What are they paying you $1,000 a month for, you guys, when you set this up? They're paying you $1,000 a month to kickstart the review process to be the place with the most positive reviews. Does this make sense? They're paying us not to turn it off. They're paying us not to turn it off. Because if the restaurant is following your system and they're doing it, and remember, these are rising stars, they will play along. And they are gauging people that are having a good experience and asking those people to leave a review. The vast majority are going to be positive reviews, you guys. And so I want you all to understand, this machine, once you set it up, it perpetuates itself. Can I show you exactly how to consistently and efficiently find these rising stars restaurants that are dying for your help right now? Give me a number one if you want me to do that. Can I show you exactly how to consistently and efficiently find these rising stars? Okay. Give me a number two. If I could walk you through how you could get this machine set up for any rising star restaurant in one day, and then it pretty much runs itself from there. It pretty much runs itself from there. Okay. Give me a number three in the box. If I can show you, and you'd like for me to show you how to charge $1,000 per month to set this up and run it for a business and have them feel like they're taking advantage of you. Not that, oh, this is an expensive bill, meaning this is the thing that is the cheapest because it's delivering huge ROI for us. Yeah. Can I also, give me a number four for this one. Can I also show you how to do this at a level to bring in 25 to 50K per month, not just 5K, not just 10K, but how to go with this so that you can bring in 25 to 50K a month. Type of number four in the box if I can do that. Okay. On that note, with number fours, let's get to part four. How you can automate the entire service and make 25 to 50K a month only serving this special market of business owners. Let's get into it. You guys, Zach and I have put together a special workshop called Restaurant Marketing Genius that's going to give you the exact blueprint to acquiring, servicing, and delivering big results for these top tier rising stars type restaurants. And I want to show you how you can earn 1K per month per client to deliver this special package to them on autopilot. Do me a favor, if I have your permission to show you what we're going to be covering in this workshop, I want you to type lucky number 7 in the box right now. Lucky number 7 in the box right now, if I can explain to you what we're going to do on this workshop and how we're going to walk you through this process so that you are a master at this and you understand the Restaurant Marketing Genius system. Okay, part 1. The full Restaurant Marketing Genius system from 10,000 feet up. You're going to get a behind the scenes look at how all of these pieces fit together, how everything works, and how you can run this as a CEO of your company, meaning you don't have to run all of the pieces of this forever. We're going to show you not only how to set everything up, but how to set up your business so that it's efficient inside of your business and systems as well. So that's part 1. Part 2, the hungry audience restaurant niche. I talked about this rising star group of restaurants that we're going after. I'm going to show you exactly how to find them easily. There are markers that you can look for online. I'm going to show you how to find those markers, how to separate these people out so that you know when you are spending your time building these foot in the door things for people that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to show you how to do the foot in the door stuff quickly. When you're building these foot in the door that you know you're going to most likely get a positive response and you're going to get a little bit of time to show them what they're doing. Give me a number 2 in the box if you understand this so far. We're going to show you how to find these people very easily, show you how to create something that's going to get their attention and get you a meeting. Okay, make sure you put a number 2 in the box so I know that you hear me. From there, part 3, the new restaurant client magnet. This is the thing that we're building. I'm going to show you how to build it efficiently. So for every single person that you go after, every restaurant that you go after, I'm going to show you exactly in under 5 minutes how to build the thing that is going to suck them in and it's going to give you what you need meeting-wise with them. From there, we're going to talk about the restaurant growth machine package. I'm going to show you the technical aspects of this. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up a system that runs itself and how, when you get that set up, this is something that is worth 10 times what they're paying you per month at 1K per month. Now, from there, this is very important, this next part. Part 5, how you're going to get your first 10 restaurants signed up in the next 60 days. Some of you, it will be a lot faster than that, but I am underselling this. 60 days. In this section, we're going to show you the exact week-by-week roadmap to signing up your first 10 clients, and then I'm going to show you how to leverage those first 10 clients that you get into signing up your next 50 clients, all at 1K per month. If you're excited so far, do me a favor, give me a yes in the chat. If you're excited and you want to be a part of Restaurant Marketing Genius, you want to know how all this comes together, you want to know how you can target this unique group of restaurants and actually deliver results so that they feel like they're taking advantage of you paying that money every single month. Okay, now all of this is good, and all of those pieces are going to show you exactly how to do this, but I want to add on a few key things. Bonus number 1, you're going to get 30 days free access to the software we use to do this. Don't let software intimidate you. I'm going to show you how to do it. This whole system is software agnostic. You don't have to use what we're doing, but I'm going to give you 30 days free access to everything we use. So if you want to use what we're doing, you have access to it. Give me a number 1 in the box if you understand this one, so I know that this makes sense and you understand that I'm loading you up, you're good to go, and everything is in there that's good. Okay, bonus number 2, the Restaurant Marketing Genius Outsourcing Guide. A lot of you, when you get going at this, are going to want to outsource pieces of this puzzle. Does this make sense? We're going to show you how to outsource this, what to pay people, how to not get taken advantage of, and how to make sure that these people are running your system, but they will not go out and start their own business doing this. Trust me when I say we're going to compartmentalize this in a way where you guys can run this like a CEO, not have to do all the dirty work, but you're going to have people that you can count on and where to find them. So that's bonus number 2. Bonus number 3, you're going to get all of the Restaurant Marketing Genius Creative Vault, meaning all of the graphics and the pieces of the puzzle that we're going to have for you that we use in our system. You guys are going to have access to all those things. There'll be Canva templates so you can edit them to your heart's content, but we're going to give you exactly what we're doing. Can I say something extra about this? Give me number 3 if I can say something extra about this. This Creative Vault, you guys, that we're going to bonus in for you guys, this is what is going to make you look like a professional, even if you suck at graphic design. Even if you're terrible at graphic design, this is going to give you access to things that look premium, and they're going to make your clients look premium. And that's the key, is we're taking all of the hard parts out of this. That's why this bonus is here. Does all this make sense? Give me a yes if all this makes sense so far. Give me a yes or a number 1 in the box so I know you understand. You understand what you're getting. You understand what we're going to be doing in this live workshop together. You understand kind of what we're setting up for people. You want more details on how to do it and how to do it efficiently. Make sure you get that number 1 in the box for me so that I know you get it. If you're ready to get inside, get that number 1 in the box so I know you're ready to get inside, you're ready to get one of these seats. There's one catch and one catch alone. Here is the catch. I want to make sure I'm very, very open with it. You guys know how we work. We like our stuff to be with our best people that are going to use it. We do not like our stuff getting out to a wide audience. Because of that, we are going to do this. There are 97 seats for the special workshop and 97 seats alone. Do not do this. Please do not do this. Do not take one of those spots if you aren't ready to show up next week. Put in a little work to get this set up and then get moving. Give me a yes or a number 1 if that's a deal and you're ready to get one of the 97 seats to get inside. One of the 97 seats to get inside. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in front of you guys. Make sure you get there. We're going to do this in just a second. And here we go. Guys, go to serialprogresssecret.com/RMG. That's spskr.com. Don't actually type the full Serial Progress Secret. Go spskr.com/RMG. Get yourself inside now. Now, while you are doing that, I want to recap what you're going to be getting if you get inside. So when you make it inside and you've gotten past everything, you've gone to spskr.com/RMG. Once you do that, I want you to come in and type genius in the chat so that I can welcome you in a minute. I'm going to go and recap this, then I'm going to be welcoming in all the folks. Remember, there's 97 seats alone. Get in. Once you get in, type genius in the chat. If you've already typed it, keep it there. I'll make sure that we get you welcomed in a minute. Okay, so right now, here we go. Here's what you get if you get one of those 97 seats. And by the way, these are going very, very, very fast. So make sure you get this. My chat is filled up with genius right now. Make sure you jump in. And you get your spot down. Right now, I'm going to review this. And let's talk about what we're getting. And I'll welcome everybody inside in a second. Remember, part 1, We're going to be going over the full restaurant marketing genius from 10,000 feet, the whole system, how it all fits together, how we get clients, what technology we're putting together, and how all this gets done. From there, we're going to talk about the hungry audience. There's triggers and things that you can find that people have online from a simple search. And I'll show you the search string. I'll show you what we're going over, where you can find these rising star kinds, the category that we're going after that is going to be the most receptive, and the folks that we're going to be able to help the most. And so I'm going to show you how to find them from there. From there, I'm going to show you exactly what we are doing to attract them and how to build it fast. You can build this for under 5 minutes for everybody that you go after. It's going to be the thing that's going to get their attention, and it's going to give them the opportunity and the want to actually talk to you. From there, what are we actually pitching them? We're going to show them this restaurant growth machine package. I'm going to show you how to put it together. I'm going to show you how everything works, how all the technology comes together, and how all of these things are going to help the restaurant, but on autopilot, meaning once you set this up, you don't have to manage a ton of different things. And so we're going to go through that. From there, part 5, how to get your first 10 restaurants signed up in 60 days at $1,000 a month. I'm going to show you the roadmap, how to do it. And then once you get the 10, I'm going to show you how to leverage that into your first 50 over the next 90 to 120 days. From there, we got some bonuses. Bonus number 1, you get 30 days free access to the software that we use to deliver all of these services to our restaurant and bar clients. You're going to have access to that. From there, bonus number 2, the Restaurant Marketing Genius Outsourcing Guide. Once you got this set up, once you understand the system, you're not going to want to run this all the time, you guys. You're going to want to bring on some people. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. From there, bonus number 3, the Restaurant Marketing Genius Creative Vault. Don't worry if you're not graphic design savvy. We're going to do all the graphic design for you. You get the things that we already use. We get the things that we are already using for you guys, and you guys are going to have access to it. And I'm going to show you how to edit those things right inside of Canva. Super, super simple. Super, super simple. Remember, all you got to do is go to spskr.com/RMG. We're going to jump in and we're going to start answering some questions. But before I answer some questions, I'm going to welcome some folks in. I want to welcome Connie H in. I want to welcome Ken T in. I want to welcome Dennis M in. I want to welcome Catherine A in. I want to welcome Bob L in. What's up, Bob? Good to see you in. We got my man Rob T made it inside. I love to see it. We got Jimmy T that made it in. We got Kip A that made it in. We've got Patty V that made it in. We've got Don K that made it in. We've got Steve S that made it in. We've got Rick U that made it in. We've got Tim D that made it in. We've got Art V that made it in. We've got Dan S that made it in. We've got Warren W that made it in. And we got my man Marion that has made it in. I love to see it. We've got David G that made it in. And I got more people that have said things. I've not forgotten about you. I've got more people that have typed genius in the box because they made it inside. And remember, if you made it inside, type genius in the box. If I've not said your name so far, make sure you type that in the box right now so that I can see that you made it inside. Before I get to those people, though, I want to make sure that I answer some questions here. Okay, so let's answer some questions. David said, are you going to go over how to outsource and automate onboarding and ongoing management for the restaurant? Yes, David, we're going to make sure that you know not only how to onboard people, but also how to make sure that you're touching base every so often, and how to do that in a very automated way, but it still feel like you're doing it in a very personal way. Okay, Katie, how you doing? How you doing? Katie says, I listen closely and feel like my rising stars in the pet care services can benefit from this system. As all overused menu of services competition seem to be rising, similar to rising stars in a restaurant, but you say this is strictly for restaurants. Here's the deal. I know that I can apply this to other businesses, but the way that I'm going to be teaching this, and the reason I said it this way, the way I'm going to be teaching this is I'm going to be very focused on restaurants. So when we get into training, I'm going to be 100% focused on restaurants. But I do agree that there are definitely niches that this same thing applies to very, very closely. So that's my answer. Hopefully that makes sense. Just know that I'm going to be very focused so that I can stay on point. Katie, you know how easy it is to distract me, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do, is stay very focused for those that want the system and want to know exactly what to go at. So great question. Thanks for asking it. Remember, if you don't have Genius typed in the chat or you don't have your seat yet, make sure you go to spskr.com/RMG. We're at our questions portion, but I'm going to be welcoming more people in here pretty soon. Let's see what else we got. Are there any additional charges between the $197 a month for customer? There's a few things, Andrea, but Andrea, let me tell you this. Do not think that you got to spend a bunch of money on stuff until you have a client. Does everybody understand that? Give me a number 1 if you understand that. You do not have to spend a bunch of money on anything until you have a client. I'm going to show you how to do this. Go after clients I will even build a sample for you guys to use as your sample. You don't even have to set up your own sample. Give me a number one if you're excited. You don't even have to set up your own sample business. Give me a yes if you're happy. You don't have to set up your own sample business. That's one more way we're going to save you time. I'm going to set up a sample for you guys so that all of this stuff, you can showcase this stuff without having to set up your own thing. That's going to save you guys a ton of time. That also means that you don't have to sign up for a bunch of stuff, you guys, until you're already going with this, until you got a client that's going to pay for it for you. Remember, whatever you're paying for this, it's super, super easy because one client's going to be paying a lot more. Okay, so just keep in mind, they got your monthly costs covered for most of your other things. The profit margin on this for you guys is going to be good. Okay, let's see here. Rick, I think we can probably figure out how to pull that off. Just remind me, buddy, and we can kind of get into that. And Rick, you can probably get to a place where you can outsource that part too. Okay. Let's see, Carla, it can, but I'm going to be focused, like I told Katie, I'm going to be focused primarily on restaurants. Let's see what we come to that. Let's see, Mark, welcome. Mark typed in Genius. Remember, if you haven't typed in Genius, let me know that you have. I got other people down the list, but Mark, before I forget, Mark's kind of in between some questions, so I want to welcome Mark inside. Let's see. Dan says, I would be thinking about adding in trivia for Facebook and Instagram stories. Yeah, that'd be a great add-on. That fits into this perfectly. For those of you that were on my trivia money training, it fits in so well. It's part of our process. You don't have to do it, but it absolutely fits in. And yeah, let's see here. Yes. Let's see. This is David's question. Are you personally doing this yourself on your end? Why would I be teaching it if I wasn't doing it? Sorry, I don't buy into a lot of that. Also, have you run into any issues with existing review systems that are baked into CRMs? No, that's good. Here's the cool thing, David. If they've already got some review gathering stuff, that's great. Remember, David, the kinds of businesses that we're going after aren't utilizing the systems they currently have to do what they need to do. David, does that make sense? Even if they've got some systems or something baked into their existing software, buddy, don't worry. When we find them, we know they're not using them to their full extent. Like, you guys, does anybody think that I care what software I'm doing things in as long as I can get my system to work? Guys, listen, I know we run software companies. I know we have these things. I know I use my software 90% of the time. All I care about is the result and does it actually work? Now, David, do you think I will tell somebody to leave their current CRM if it will not fit into the system and be something that's automated? I have no problem doing that, buddy. I have no problem telling somebody, hey, this system isn't really good and we need this to do this, if that's the case. But you'll know what the system is after, so you can do that. Are you sending them a sample of post or their own reviews as posts when pitching them? I am sending them to get their attention. I am sending them 15 of their own reviews, so that they can go use them. Remember, if they want to go use them, they're gonna give you some time. Let's see, Donna, both. We'll get into that soon though. Maybe it's just okay. We'll take care of you on that, Marianne. Wayne, let me know. Wayne, put your Wayne P. Put in your email address so I can make sure that we see that and that we've got you and we can, get in touch, and that'll lock things in for us, so we know that. Let's see here. Patrick L. Patrick, would you do me a favor, buddy? Would you do me a favor? Would you send me the message that you sent me in the chat? Would you send that to our support desk? I'll make sure Katie puts the support desk in the chat, Patrick. Patrick, I don't want to lose your message. And I want to make sure that we put some time into that. Okay, buddy? So Patrick, I want to be in touch. It's kind of hard for us to save these messages in this sometimes after, but make sure we do that. Sue, send me your email address and I'll see what I can do, my friend. See what I can do. Jesse says, looking forward to this. Let's see. I love it, buddy. I'm not going to read your full message out loud because I don't know that I have your permission to do that, but I love that, buddy. Like, I'm excited that you're in. Is the training going to be in the Serial Progress Secret portal? I'll have to check, Jimmy. I'll have to check where we're putting that. Greg, hey, Greg. Greg says, will you go through the campaigns that you utilize in CE for this? Yes, it's so simple, buddy, but I'll even give you the campaigns that we use for this. I'm going to give you all the pieces of the puzzle. I don't want you guys doing a lot of thinking in terms of what works and what doesn't. I'm going to do as much done for you in this as I possibly can. And if I can't do done for you, I'll make sure I explain it really well. Okay. Are you sharing how much you're charging them? Oh yeah, it's $1,000 a month. It's $1,000 a month across the board. It just makes it's just easier. Let's see what else. By the way, there is no training currently live. We're doing this training live next week. If you are lucky enough to get one of the 97 spots before we sell out, this training will be next week. Once we're done with the training, we'll have replays up for you. Also, here is my guarantee, and I'm gonna bring Zach on here in just a second, so get ready. Zach's got some things to say. He's hit me up in the chat. I want you guys to understand, our guarantee is this. If you can't set something up or something is confusing, we'll hop on the phone with you. Give me a number one if that makes sense to you. I'm not just teaching this and then throwing you to the wolves. If anything doesn't make sense or anything's not clicking, and we've done follow-up calls on things like this, but you guys, the key here is if something doesn't make sense, we'll get on a call. We'll even try to set some stuff up for you if we can. We want this to be something that you understand and that you have down to a science. Does everybody here understand that a lot of agencies struggle because they never have good systems themselves? Give me a yes if you understand that. A lot of agencies struggle because you don't have good systems yourself. You don't have a core offer. This is a core offer. This is systems of how to run this core offer. This is systems of how to make sure your agency is running well. We're wanting to make sure that you guys have the pieces of the puzzle so you're not all over the place. It's time to not be all over the place anymore. And we want that to be a reality for you. Okay. You guys, we're going to be doing this training next Wednesday afternoon, I believe. Katie, am I right on that? Am I right on that? We'll make sure we're doing this next Wednesday afternoon. I think around, 2 our time, 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but we're going to be doing this training next week, and then we'll get you guys, like I said, within 24 hours of that replay and all of the links that you need to have. You guys, listen, there are 97 seats for these. 97 seats alone. When the 97th seat is gone, we are closing this down. Make sure you are going in, getting your spot now. spskr.com/RMG. I'll have Katie pop it into the chat one more time. spskr.com/RMG. Make sure you get in, make sure you get the bonuses that are webinar only. Make sure you rock that out right now. All right. Here's the thing. Somebody says, are franchises good targets? Only specific franchises, and I'll show you how to find them. Not franchises that fit into the top tier market, franchises that fit into the rising star market. And there's usually have a certain number of restaurants when they did that, okay? Do restaurants have the money to do higher ticket promotions? What do you mean by higher ticket promotions, John? You mean higher ticket R fees? And by the way, if you think, this is not John's question, by the way, but $1,000 a month is not high ticket. Does everybody understand $1,000 a month is not high ticket? Give me a yes if so. That's not what John said, by the way. I think he's asking me a different question. But $1,000 a month is not high ticket. You guys, $1,000 a month is kind of, that's kind of low end. If you think once again, not John that said this, but if you think $1,000 a month is high ticket, you're dealing with the wrong kinds of restaurants. You're dealing with the slowly dying restaurants. Does this make sense to everybody? Does this make sense? David says, for most restaurants, they think it is. Why do most restaurants think it is? Because they fit into which category, David? They fit into the category I explained earlier, which is the slowly dying. If you are going after the slowly dying restaurants, you guys, they are going to think that $1,000 a month, David agrees, that's going to be that. So there we go. Christine, yes. I won't read it out loud, but yes, because I don't have your permission to read it out loud, but absolutely yes. You know I will. You're my homie, and yes, 100%. Okay, listen, I have kept you guys on this call longer than I anticipated. I apologize. You guys were asking so many good questions that I got behind. So do you accept my apology? You guys asked me so many good questions during this call that I did get behind. I kept you longer than I had anticipated. I really do apologize, but I wanted to get to everybody. I wanted to be fair. I wanted to answer the questions. If there is something that we did not answer and you think of it later, or we didn't get to it on the call, go to customerengine.io/support, ask us there, and we will do it. I hope that I illuminated some things today that maybe haven't made sense to you so far. Give me a number one if there were some things that happened on this call today that made some things make sense to you, that gave you some clarity in this. Good. I got a chat full of number ones and I appreciate it. Good. Before we get out of here, I got to bring Zach on. Zach, I want you to talk about why this is such an important thing and why the timing of this happened and why focusing on reviews, but building all of those pieces, all the things we've taught people, how to build those pieces around this in the restaurant industry is so important right now. Go ahead, buddy.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's extremely important. It's kind of funny. My kids were, excuse me, I literally just took a bite of something right as you talk to me. My kids were out of town for a week, I don't know, like a week and a half ago or something like that. And me and my wife love going and eating. And, you know, the way that Ben described how that whole thing works is, you know, in reviews and all those types of things. Literally, that is how we decided on these new restaurants that we wanted to go and venture out and look at. It was all around, you know, it's that process. It's like, okay, reviews and all these things and the website. Because I mean, I went to this one place and it was like, oh, go to this place. And I checked it out, had good reviews, had, you know, good thing, but it had a crappy website. So I was like really hesitant. We went and ate there. You know, it was good. But if they had the website, I would have been more inclined to actually go there. It's like, and that's the thing is like these restaurants, the ones that you'd be going after, $1,000 is nothing to them. I mean, if you think about how much people spend at a restaurant, that is, you know, a couple tables, is 2 or 3 tables on these types of restaurants itself. And so it is such a underserved niche, and it's because it's really challenging. You know, they don't really understand what to do and they're not necessarily technical. And that's why when you automate these types of things, the ones that get it, and I unfortunately, or me and Ben, unfortunately, or fortunately, have insights. We get to see, you know, with all our different pieces of software, who's using them. And you'd be shocked that some of the most successful agencies have been targeting restaurants across the board on all of our different software platforms. It's just this glaring thing. And so I know, you know, some people may be afraid, thinking that $1,000 is high ticket. That's so low ticket. I mean, a high ticket is $10,000, $20,000 a month, you know, kind of thing. And so it's a huge opportunity. There's a wealth of restaurants out there. I'm at my office. I literally can look out my window and I can see 5 restaurants that would easily pay $1,000 because they are, you know, they're that rising star where, you know, there's a few in town that are just, you know, they've taken it to the next level, but all these other ones, they could go so much further. And it's just, I feel personally, a very underserved niche. And I think it's comes down to a lot of things about communication and systems and processes and automation and making it easy for them so that it's not a really challenging thing to do.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of the questions is, I'm going to be showing you guys various ways to pull off all of these. I need everybody to understand, we're going to show you on our tools, but you guys, it's tool agnostic. This is incredibly important that everybody understands this. This is tool agnostic. So I'll be showing you manual ways to do things. I'll be showing you automated ways to do these. I'm going to be walking you guys all through like some very easy ways to pull this stuff off. But I'll even show you, like once we show off the easy ways to do it, I'll show you better ways to do it. So I'll show you tools that are maybe more paid, not expensive, but once you get rolling and you've got money coming in from clients, how to reinvest that money to take even more work off your plate. Remember, when I say outsourcing, I'm talking about outsourcing with people, but I'm also talking about building in even more, you know, good systems with software that maybe you have to spend a little money with, but that are going to take more work off you. The idea is you get going, you understand the system, but then you systematically pull the work off of yourself. Give me a number one if you understand that I'm not coming at this from a, you know, make money online perspective. I'm coming at this from a run a business perspective, and that's what I want everybody here to understand. I'm not just showing you a marketing system. I'm going to show you a marketing system that you can actually continue to refine as you go. It is going to put your business into a place that it actually becomes a business and not a job. There's nobody here that wants another job. Am I correct? Give me a number one if I'm correct. There's nobody here that wants another job, right? I want to show you how to build something where you're running the business, not letting the business run you. And so I appreciate that, Zach. You know, and he's right. Like this is so important. And like when you understand you're going after this group of people in the restaurant industry and not everybody, everything kind of changes. And that's the idea. That's the idea. So guys, I want you all to understand. Mike G says, isn't a common injection going after the rising stars that they think they don't need any help with this? No, they've been stuck for a while. Now, here's the deal. We're going after rising stars that have been stuck for a minute. We'll go over that. What happens when you get stuck for 6 months to a year and you're not growing? Like you were growing really hard and then you're not growing as fast as you used to. You start understanding, hey, we need to do some things. What got us here won't get us there. How many of you have ever heard that line? What got us here won't get us there. And that's where a lot of these people really are starting to wrap their heads around, hey, we need a little bit of help. We need to get these systems down. And so that's how that kind of fits into that. All right, guys, I want to make sure that you get a spot. If you do not have your spot yet, please, please, please go to this URL, spskr.com/RMG. There's 97 seats alone. They're going to go fast. Make sure you get your spot in right now. Zach, before we get out of here, anything else we need to say before we hop off? I want to make sure that that we're, you know, we got everything said, that everybody understands. Make sure you guys get your seat. Anything else that I missed?
Nah, but it's again, the niches, the riches are in the niches, right? I love niching down on this kind of stuff, and I think it's an impressive way to do it. Have a full system.
Love it. Thanks, buddy. All right, thank you everybody for being here. Thanks to our team. For those of you that have gotten one of those 97 seats, we will see you next week. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun doing this. We're gonna learn some things, but we're gonna have fun learning these things too. Your agency should be fun, and that is a very important part of what we do here and how we're gonna be teaching this. So do this. Get your spot so you can be on with us next week, spskr.com/RMG. You guys have a good rest of the week, and we will see each and every one of you here in about a week where we're going to lock in with this. Make sure you get your spot now, and you guys have a good rest of the week. All right, be good. Take care of yourself, spskr.com/RMG. We'll talk to you soon.